Hello and welcome back. Here with Steve Sisolak, Chairman of the Clark County Commission. Steve, tell us how the Hispanic community has benefited from the work being done at the Clark County Commission.
I think that every community has benefited, but the Hispanic community in particular, we are recognizing the fact that they are underrepresented in terms of our contractors, our vendors, the opportunities that are afforded to different groups. And that needs to be corrected. Now, you can't do it all at one time, but I think a lot of that is outreach and it's education. We haven't done a good job as a county informing somebody like yourself, and we're thankful to have the Latin Chamber that can bring these information forward to let people know that the opportunities exist. A lot of times you get into this with the private sector that they don't know that the county purchases so much and has so many opportunities in anything, whether you're a vendor or you're a restaurant operator, a painter, or you sell a product or whatever it might be. The county buys. We've got everything from airports to hospitals. We're a big consumer of product here, and those opportunities are all available. So we're trying to make them more readily available and more apparent that they're available, but we need to do a better job educating, and we're thankful to have the LCC here to spread that information in the community so that people will afford themselves with that opportunity.
Can Hispanics do a little more? Can they, research more, get online more, go to the Clark County meetings, sit there, learn?
Absolutely, you can go. The best thing to do is to get online, and this is, I'm aware, I deal with the internet. I'm not the most tech-savvy person in the world, but you can find out an awful lot online 24 hours a day, whenever it's convenient for the person to visit the various sites. Visit the Clark County site, look for opportunities that are available. All our contracts, when we sell anything or we purchase anything, is put out to bid. Everybody has an opportunity, and you can submit a proposal, and that's what they need to start looking at. Attend a couple of meetings and see what's actually going on, how we do make purchases. It's in our agenda. You'll see we're going to buy a truck, and we advertise it, and 6 or 8 companies might bid on that, and it goes to the low bidder so they can familiarize themselves with the process and learn about it and ultimately be the beneficiary from that.
Yeah. We certainly have to touch on the Raiders a little bit because not only is it exciting to see our city change. I mean, I see you at the hockey games. Yeah. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
We're going to have soccer coming up now. And obviously we have the Raiders. Our city's changing, isn't it, right before our eyes?
Our city is changing in a way that I never thought possible. When I got here 40 years ago, I would never imagine we'd have any professional sports franchise. And the way the Knights have come through, the Golden Knights, and brought the city together and excited the city is amazing. And they've been a huge part of this community. And the Raiders, they're already a member of the LCC.
Oh, yeah,
they step up. They're there every single time. You don't have to ask them. They send players in. And when we went through one of our worst tragedies, 1 October.
We're going to touch on that.
I had Raiders and I had Golden Knights at the hospitals, at the police centers, at the Resiliency Center, talking to families. And it's great to be able to get them there and to have that communication. And even more important, we get them into the high schools. And you and I can go in there and talk to the kids and say, oh, that old guy came and talked to me. But when you send one of those athletes in there, it gets their attention.
And it creates hope. It creates hope, and it makes a connection. And, with the Raider construction, obviously, my membership's excited. Some of them have already started to work on some of these projects. And, this is going to create a tremendous opportunity. Entrepreneurship, there's going to be places open up around the stadium. I think it's phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. The amount of jobs that are going to be created and the synergy that's associated with that. You see what's happened, where the community's coming together around a hockey team, and it's going to be expanded even more with the NFL football team. And you got to remember, there's only 32 cities that are fortunate enough to have an NFL team.
Right.
We're a pretty elite group to be in, and they really want to be part of this community. And they're here, they're at everything, they want to be part, they're contributing, and I think it's a great partnership. And I think that there's going to be benefit to come for many, many years as a result of this partnership that we've had with them.
Yeah, certainly. As a person who's lived in this city for 47 plus years, I love Las Vegas. I love Nevada so much. 1 October, it still gets me emotional. Our city was attacked, and it gets me emotional. And but it also gets me emotional to see the response. And I got to tell you, politics aside, everything aside, you really stepped up. Like, this generally affected you. I saw the sincerity. You and our sheriff stepped up and did what you could. And so I'd like to hear right out of you how it affected you. What were your thoughts?
I will never forget that day on October 1st when, and I get emotional as well, when the sheriff called me at 11 o'clock at night, and I was sound asleep and my phone rang, and he said, we have a live shooter and we have 1 or 2 dead and a dozen wounded. And I said, I'll meet you at the Metroplex. And got in my shower and got in the car and got down there, and then when I saw what was really happening, it was hard to go to the hospital and visit Officer Hartfield's widow and explain our sympathies and offer our sympathies, and to actually go on the site with the sheriff and see the carnage and the bodies and the blood that was there. And it was just, I saw things I never want to see again. I don't want anybody to have to see. I've never been in a war. I hope our families don't have to see that. But the hatred that man sent down on those 25,000 people, people that were in that facility, was met with an outpouring of love, that this community came together in a way, Peter, that's never happened before. I mean, I was interviewed by TV stations around the world that saw a part of Las Vegas that wasn't 4 miles of neon on Las Vegas Boulevard. We put out a call for blood. The sheriff and I did it. It was probably, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And by 6 o'clock, there was a line blocks long around all the blood centers as a result of, people turning out. Schools gave the seniors off to go donate blood. Employers gave people off to be able to donate blood. We started a fund to create some money, raise some money for some folks, and close to 100,000 people, opened up their hearts and their wallets and donated, and it says a lot about our community and who we are.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what a lot of people don't know, and I know you don't want to brag about it, and it's nothing to brag about, certainly, but I'll say it. You also went to a funeral. I went with you. And that family was so honored to have somebody of your level in their eyes. Was so important. It showed so much respect, and I thank you for going there. That was a Hispanic young man who deserved to go out with some dignity, and you being there with us, that was a big deal.
Yeah, that was Eric's funeral, and it was an honor, and I needed help, and I called you. I mean, when I went to the wake the night before and met the family and the mom and dad, and realized that they spoke no English, which I had no idea about, and I couldn't let them down. I had to go, and who do I turn to but my friend, Peter, and said, look, I need an interpreter, and you got me an interpreter. You got Marco to come and interpret for me, and it was a very moving, humbling service to be at, and that he and I told his mom and dad that he saved a lot of lives. I mean, his actions, and unfortunately he died as a result of that, but he died helping people, and I think that's what he would have wanted, and it was honored to be asked to do that, but at the same time, like you say, it was tough. It's tough to go through those things.
Well,
it's tough for a family to go through that.
We won't forget that day, and we won't forget the first responders and everybody who showed up, including yourself. So thank you for letting us inside your heart a little bit today, and knowing what you do a little bit, and good luck in your campaign and with all the work that you're doing, and I really appreciate you always being a friend of the Latin Chamber of Commerce.
Peter, thank you, and thank you for what you're doing with the Latin Chamber. I mean, it says a lot. I mean, for those of you who are members, you need to know that Peter's at everything. I mean, I go to a lot of events, especially when I'm in campaign mode, and you're at every one of them. I don't know where you get the energy from, but you do a tremendous job representing not just the chamber, but representing the entire community, and on behalf of the commission, I want to thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate that very much.
You're a good man.
I want to thank Chairman of the Clark County Commission, Steve Sisolak, for being here with us today. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Influencers. And until next time, stay motivated and stay inspired. Thank you.